I used to be 135 pounds, where I was small and pathetic. I could barely armbar anybody because their one arm was stronger than both of mine. So I took the Gordon Ryan approach, minus the needle, and I decided to put on 40 pounds of weight, going up to the heavier weight classes where technique didn't matter as much. Forget all those lower weight classes where scrambling and exploding was the main part of their game. Now I get to pressure pass and crush people. Here's how I put on 40 pounds in a year to get bigger and better at Jiu Jitsu.
So we're here at the gym, and I'm here to show all my secrets of how I went from a puny person all the way up to 175. But it's no secret I'm not a professional bodybuilder, so I brought Tom with me, who does know how to lift. He's jacked himself, does jiu-jitsu, so he can apply these movements just like you would, and he's gonna be going over anything that I missed or if I'm doing something wrong to make sure you don't follow the same footsteps I take, but better ones. I'm going to be going over about 5 to 6 different lifts, the main ones that put on the most size for my body. And the number one lift everybody needs to do, the altar of how I gained all my weight, is the squat rack.
A lot of people hate squats for a good reason. They're very challenging, but that challenge is worth the reward, let me tell you.
We're lifting for jiu-jitsu. I like to think about it that we need a lot of resistance training, high volume. Most movements we do in jiu-jitsu aren't done on your first event. If I can lift 315, but I can only squat it for 1 rep, right? 1 good rep, all my power is in that one opportunity, that doesn't translate to jiu-jitsu at all. All the times when I'm trying to shrimp or push somebody off of me, it's going to require a lot more effort. Because of that, it's much better to do high reps, lower weight. Even if you can do just 1 play for squatting, this is going to be the most important thing you can do to develop size.
It's important to keep in mind the weight on the bar, no matter the lift, it's not the most important part of the lift. Controlling the weight, in my opinion, is the most important part. So you don't have to load this thing up with 300, 400 pounds. He can get a lot out of this weight, assuming he's using proper form. And look at how low he's going. And he's slowing down at the bottom there, and that just makes coming up that much harder. Really, really good for the muscle stimulus. You want to make sure you're properly stimulating the muscles when working out, no matter what, or when lifting weights, I should say, given the topic of this video. Oh! Don't do that.
What movement do you see in jiu-jitsu that you benefit from doing squats to help you out?
It's like Tyler was saying, doing like the higher rep situation as opposed to this really low rep work, it's going to translate better because you need that muscle endurance. It's not just about power. Power is important, but when it comes to jiu-jitsu, I would argue that the muscle endurance is probably going to be more valuable. A lot of what we do athletically is going to come from our legs anyway, and you know, this is the ultimate leg builder.
Here are some benefits that Tom may or not have mentioned about the squat that you'll see in jiu-jitsu. You have a lot more power when you're doing takedowns. You have a lot more power when you're preventing them from trying to pass your guard. You're constantly pushing away, shrimping, keeping them at a distance. It also helps when you're passing and we're in this squat-like position. I'm down low. I'm doing toreando passing. I need to be able to be strong in my legs, not get broken down too easily from my opponent, because I need most of the endurance when I'm leading the attack. Squats are the best way to help you out with that. So we looked at the squat and how that can help you out in jiu-jitsu, but since we're already in the leg family, the other part that I love to do the most for building massive legs and putting weight on my body is the leg press. So we're gonna be hitting the leg press machine, which is a lot easier to load heavy weight, but again, it's not about heavy weight, it's about high reps. 1 plate for 30 reps is a lot better than 4 plates for 3 reps.
Got this cute little pillow for your butt if you want it.
This, you can think about easily in jiu-jitsu, is when you have to play something like butterfly guard or open guard. I'm constantly kicking my opponent away from me, keeping them at distance so I can set up other guards such as de la riva, reverse de la riva. Even if I'm going for simple things like tripod sweeps, I need to be able to do this motion where somebody's on me, they're pushing into me, and I extend to push them off. Leg press easily translate into jiu-jitsu.
Absolutely.
Another good benefit about the leg press is when I'm low, I can work half reps really easy.
Yeah.
This is a great way to really fatigue your quads with not that many reps required. It's much easier when you have a machine like the leg press to constantly put mass attention on the quads.
There's actually a lot of new promising research too with length and partials, so good one, Tyler. Good one.
Now I'm a humongous fan, like I mentioned, of constantly working quads because it's such a visible muscle. I don't want my legs to be smaller than the new white belt girl that just joined the gym, so I gotta make sure my quads are humongous when I'm lifting. But by moving the feet around just a little bit, I can focus on different parts of my legs. I don't believe in closed guard, but by moving my feet on the base, I can work the inside of my legs, really get that squeezing muscle. So if for some reason you want to keep somebody locked in here, it's going to be that much easier to hold them in position.
I'm a bigger fan of the closed guard than Tyler is. I don't know what that says about me, but...
That you're a Democrat? I'm just kidding. I'm not political at all. If you don't have that much time to lift, because you got other things to do, you got full life, you got jiu-jitsu you want to go to, the best things you can do for your legs, honestly, are just hitting squats as often as you can. And if you need that extra focus on only your legs, not working your overall body, leg press is number 2. Now here's a secret for people. I've got a torn shoulder that I'd never fix, so my chest is pathetically weak. We have somebody strong here like Tom, big chest, move a lot of weight. I personally can't move that much, but I do feel like the best thing to develop my chest to help me out for gaining size has been the incline bench press. This just targets the chest in a different way that I feel is just perfect.
Superior for sure, superior. Better chest engagement on an incline press, if you ask me. It's a strong pressing movement, and we already covered the lower half as far as pressing goes. Upper half needs some good pressing as well. And there's so much upper body musculature at play here. Obviously, chest is going to be the prime mover. We also get a lot of them triceps as well as the shoulders. So especially when you're working up top, of course, it's going to help have a stable, strong lower half. But then the upper half as well, you need to have a strong and stable upper half as well.
You can't compare to doing free weights where you need to keep your whole body tight. You got to keep everything working together as a system. Just like in jiu-jitsu, there's no time where I do a guillotine and my legs aren't moving. I'm using my entire body when I'm doing any motion. So if you're doing something like bench pressing or squatting, you don't have the machine helping you out, it's going to help your game overall compared to just focusing on one muscle group.
Exactly, yes. And you get, when it comes to working with free weights versus machines, the stabilizers are going to come into play. And your stabilizer muscles are very, very important to being an athletic individual.
So the next lift I'm going to is rowing. And rowing is pretty obvious. It helps you out a lot in jiu-jitsu because we need to pull. Anytime I'm on top, if I'm trying to pass guard, move arms out of the way. Or if I pass the guard and I'm trying to rip out things like Kimuras, their arms and legs are tight to the body. They don't want to expose themselves. I gotta be the aggressor, grab something, rip it out. The only way I'm gonna get better at that is if I'm increasing the strength in my back and shoulders. Something like rowing is excellent for that.
And he's also getting that grip engagement as well, which is absolutely crucial for grappling.
This is just high reps, low weight. We need the resistance, not the heavy weight. When you're doing jiu-jitsu, I want to constantly be pulling on their arms. Just like with weightlifting, I want to be constantly moving this thing.
And he's getting the added benefit of having to have his core engaged in order to actually be able to support the weight before he rows it up. The core is the most important grouping of muscles, let me tell you. No matter what sport you're doing, no matter what physical endeavor you're doing, core is king.
If you're doing jiu-jitsu, you got family, you got job, I know you don't have much time for lifting. Try and separate your lifts into 3 different days. Push, pull, legs. No longer than 45 minutes a session. Keep it quick, do a lot of reps, low rest, keep hitting the weights, but then get out there and go practice a real sport like jiu-jitsu. Bodybuilding is great. I love it. But if I want to get better at the technique part, I still got to go to class.
But yeah, push-pull legs is honestly, that is a great starting point, or even like finishing point as far as a workout split goes. Can't go wrong. And like he said, 45 minutes, as long as you're intense in that time, you're keeping your form good, you're good, you're good.
We showed a lot of different lifts, but the truth is you can add as many lifts as you want to get bigger. I just showed the main ones: bench, some leg work, some rowing. Those would be the things that help you out the most. But more than just lifting weights is diet. When I'm trying to put on weight, I'm eating a crap ton of protein. I'm thinking 150 grams to 200 grams of protein a day. And honestly, I don't have a great diet. I'm eating a crap ton of cereal.
I'm not judging, dude. I'm not judging, not at all.
Which I'm sure Tom hates to hear, but cereal works great for me. High in carbs, gives me a lot of energy so I can be working out. Oatmeal, put protein in it. But the big thing is I'm constantly getting in protein powder. can't put in on any muscle if you're not constantly adding protein to your diet.
Protein is the main building block of our tissues, of our muscular tissues.
If you're looking for easier jiu-jitsu, be like me. Put on 40 pounds of extra weight, get it mostly in your legs, and dominate other people in your rolls. Thanks for joining me, Tom, today. I appreciate having you.
Oh my goodness, thank you for having me.
Yeah.